The last time Arsenal won the game at the Etihad Stadium was in 2015 and they won the game 2-0. Goal scored by Santi Cazorla and Oliver Giroud. And ever since then, Arsenal have not won the game at the Etihad Stadium. What's up, guys, and welcome to the channel. And today we'll be talking about the upcoming game between Manchester City and Arsenal at the Etihad Stadium. Now, this game is very massive for both teams. If Arsenal go on to beat Manchester City, it gives them that belief they can go all the way to win the Premier League title. If Man City beats Arsenal at the Etihad Stadium, it also gives them that belief that they can close the gap on Arsenal. Now, the first time both teams met this season was at the Emirates Stadium, and the game ended 1-1. Erling Haaland scored the goal for Manchester City, and Martinelli scored the goal for Arsenal. The second time they met was at the Carabao Cup final, and the game ended 2-0. Now, this will be the third time they'll be meeting each other, and this game is going to be totally different. Arsenal already in the semi-finals of the Champions League. You can see in that game they didn't really play very well in terms of attacking, but it's all about moving into the next round. And for Manchester City, they're already out of the Champions League. They've rested enough, and you'll be expecting them to come out all gone blazing with full energy. Now, there's really no much difference between Arsenal and Man City when you look at their last 10 games in all competitions and also their last five Premier League games. When you look at their last 10 games in all competitions, for Arsenal, they have 6 wins, and for Man City, they have 6 wins. When you look at their last 5 games in the Premier League, for Arsenal, they have 4 wins and 1 loss. For Man City, they have 3 wins and 2 draws and 0 losses. So the difference between both teams is actually not much, honestly. And you can say both teams are on the same level in terms of like strength. They're actually on the same level at this point in the season. But yes, I know losing to Bournemouth, Arsenal losing to Bournemouth made it look like Arsenal are really bad, and also their result in the last couple of games. But in their last 10 games in all competition and their last five Premier League games, you can say both teams are on par. Now, we'll be expecting Pep Guardiola to approach this game very different because right now he knows his first 11. I'd like to say something here. The first game of the season where that happened at the Emirates Stadium, Pep Guardiola decided to approach that game very different. He decided to go on a low block. And I think that was just due to the fact that it was very early on in the season. He didn't really know his first 11. Arsenal are already a team that they've been together for a couple of years. They understand themselves. Pep trying to build a new team and all that. And he knew he couldn't go toe to toe with Arsenal in that game. And he decided to sit low block and try to hit them on the counter. And that is why the next time they met, which was like on a neutral ground, at that point of the season, Pep knew his first 11, and you could see the difference because now he believed, okay, this set of players can actually play the way he wants against Arsenal. And it wasn't like the first game where he had to sit low block. I'll be expecting Pep Guardiola not to sit low block in this game. I'll be expecting him to actually come out and attack. Yeah, there'll be different. There'll be situations where he will have to defend, but I don't think it will be like the way he did at the Emirates Stadium. Now, for Arsenal, we all know they are very good defensively, and very few teams create, very few teams see chances to score against them. We all know also they are struggling in that attacking side, but they are very good at set piece, which have actually gotten them some good results. They are very good at set piece, and also they are very good defending. And you need to be at your A game when you are trying to break them down. And they are very good at counter attacking as well. So this is not a game where Man City will just believe they can actually go in and dominate them and all that. No, I think Arsenal will be very tough. Arsenal are a very tough side. And also, when you look at the last five Premier League games between both teams, there's really no much difference. It's just Arsenal have lost one, Man City haven't lost any. Man City have 3 wins, Arsenal has 4 wins in their last five Premier League games. Last 10 games in all competitions, 6 wins for both teams. And also, another thing I would like to say again is when you look at the goals scored in their last five Premier League games and the goals conceded, both teams have scored 10. Man City have scored 10, Arsenal have scored 10. Arsenal have considered 4, Man City have considered 4. So there's really no much difference between both teams, but this is a very massive game. You'll be expecting Arsenal to have Raya in the post. I don't know if they'll start with Ben White or Mosquera at right back. Of course, Saliba Gabriel will be the two centre back, and maybe if Califori is fit, he might start, or Hankipi is fit, he might play there, or maybe Lewis Kelly on the left hand side. The midfield, I'm expecting Eze, Zubimendi, and Declan Rice for Arsenal, and their front line will be Trossard, Gyökeres, and maybe Madueke. I don't know if Bukayo Saka will be fit before this game. Now, for Manchester City, of course, you'll be expecting Donnarumma at the goal post, and also the two centre back, McKay and Kushanov, Nunes at right back, and hopefully Nico O'Reilly is fit because the last game he felt something in his hamstring, and hopefully he's fit. But if he's not fit, of course, we'll be starting with Nuri on that left hand side. The midfield, Bernardo Silva, Rodri, and and Cheki, and on the left hand side you have Doku up front, Erling Haaland, and on the right hand side, we have Semenyo. So we all know this is going to be a massive game, and both teams will be coming well prepared. For Arsenal, you'll be thinking they don't want to lose to Man City again, considering how they lost the Carabao Cup final. So they'll be coming up with a fight. For Man City, they need to win this game if they really want to have that chance of winning the Premier League title. I think a draw favors Arsenal more. A draw really favors them more. For Man City, a draw doesn't really favor them. I think 3 points is what Man City have to win this game. It's like a must-win game for them because they believe if they win this game, they have the chance to close the gap on Arsenal, and also with their game in hand. And both managers also I think both managers also be looking to make some slight change. I won't be surprised if I see Mikel Arteta play Martinelli on the left hand side rather than Trossard, because Martinelli is that guy that always scored against Man City. I think in that Arsenal squad, he's the guy that scored the most against Man City ever since Mikel Arteta took over the job. And it's very quick. So, if Arsenal had decided to play those long balls, he can run in behind and cause problems on that left hand side. Trossard doesn't really have that pace. For Manchester City, the player we used to have that used to cause Arsenal problem is no more there. That's Kevin De Bruyne. He has scored the most goals ever since Pep Guardiola took over against Arsenal. But the second person is Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland always find a way. I really don't know how he does it. That just shows how brilliant Erling Haaland is. When you have Saliba and Gabriel and you're still able to make something happen, that's very impressive. So Kevin De Bruyne is no more there, but the second person that have scored the most ever since Pep Guardiola took over is Erling Haaland. Now, for this game, like I said, a draw favors Arsenal, and I don't think a draw favors Man City. It's all about the 3 points for Man City. One, we're expecting Arsenal to be tired because they played in the Champions League semi-finals and they'll be traveling to Manchester. For Man City, they've rested. They'll be well prepared. They'll be very focused. But it will be a very interesting game. It will be very interesting. I would like to see how both managers will approach the game, especially in that first half. We all know in the last couple of games, Man City have really not been at their best in the first half. If we really check it, when we played Arsenal in the first half, we were not really at our best. Same thing again when we played Chelsea in the first half. We always come alive in the second half. So that first half, I guess, is more about controlling the game, trying not to concede. And yeah, then second half, you come out all gone blazing. So it will be very interesting to see how both managers approach the game. Again, there's no much difference between Arsenal and Man City in terms of when you look at their last five Premier League games and also their last 10 games in all competitions. Like the difference is really not much. So this is two teams that are actually very good. I don't know if Mikel Arteta will approach this game sitting on a low block and trying to hit Man City on the counter, or if you will try to go for it whereby, trying to play that high line kind of football, trying to go for. I think if he does that, if he decides to go to play toe to toe with Man City at the Etihad, I think it might end up not really well. So I think he needs to approach this game in different phases where you have that balance. You know, when you have moments when you defend and also when you attack. Not, I think more of a mid block rather than sitting very deep. You should do more of a mid block, not too deep, not too high, that kind of thing. For Man City, we all know they'll always come out very high. But the good thing is we have two centre backs like Koshanov and Magid that have that pace to actually catch up. They are very quick. But we all know Man City will approach the game very high, trying to press, trying to dominate, trying to have lots of the ball. Yeah, that's it for me, guys. Let me know what you think. And please do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to like. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you very much.